Welcome viewers to this mission resource video produced by Albany Presbytery of the Presbyterian Church USA. Today's topic is the Heifer Project, whose name at least should be well familiar to a significant number of American congregations. Through this video, we hope to improve and enhance your understanding and to equip you for further engagement in Christ's mission. My name is the Reverend Ted Wright. I'm a retired pastor and mission worker. I currently serve as the chair of the mission committee of Albany Presbytery. With me for this interview are two associates of Heifer Project, Rachel Merrill, a regional donor relationship manager based in New Hampshire, and Roger Ellis of Granville, New York, who also serves on the mission committee with me. Roger, by the way, is a veterinarian, so well equipped on that side of Heifer Project. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be following an interview format. I plan to ask questions that represent the general interests or curiosity of local church leaders. At the end of this video, you will find information about how to follow up with more specific questions of your own and how to develop or pursue an enhanced relationship with Heifer Project. So with no further ado, I'm going to ask our guests to briefly describe the mission of Heifer Project.
Well, I'll take the lead. I'm very happy to be here in this, the opportunity to do this, along with Rachel Merrill, who I have just, as we do now, met by Zoom, at least as far as looking at her. I have been a volunteer for Heifer for 35 years. It shocked me when I realized that and figured it out today. But it started a long time ago, and I'm very excited to be able to share what Heifer does with everyone. I did have the wonderful opportunity to serve on the Heifer Project Board of Directors for 6 years, from 1999 to 2006. I have co-led study tours, which they had in the past and may have again in the future, big question at this point. But I have also gone to Heifer Projects both to see them and to share some of my medical veterinary expertise. So with that, that's a little background. I live in Granville, a member of the United Church of Granville, and very interested in sharing the stories of Heifer and helping people to do things in their congregations.
And what would you like to say about the mission of the Heifer Project?
Oh, ending hunger and caring for the earth, poverty and hunger. That's the mission, as it's stated. And in fact, we came up with that at that time. And maybe I can switch that over to Rachel because she is right in the midst of it so that it can be said exactly correctly.
Sure, I would love to take that. So thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's just such an honor and privilege to be with all of you. I've been with Heifer. This year will be my second year. And I grew up on a farm in North Dakota, so I'm very familiar with farm life. And I'm just excited to tell you about Heifer. My role as a donor relationship manager is to work with community groups such as churches, civic organizations, schools, and also individual donors. So the mission, Heifer International's mission, is to end hunger and poverty while caring for the earth. We've been around for 76 years. We're very excited about that. We have provided livestock and environmentally sound agricultural training to improve the lives of those who struggle daily for reliable sources of food and income. Although we've worked in over 135 countries, currently we work in 21 countries, including the United States, to help families and communities become self-reliant. Our goal is to help families achieve living incomes, or thriving, I like to say, which will allow them to feed their families daily, educate all their children, have proper housing, water, hygiene, and other essential resources.
Okay, so can we pretend that we know nothing about how the project actually operates? How would you describe, either or both of you, the methodology? How does Heifer actually fulfill its mission in more detail? How does it work?
I would like to hear from Roger and your experience, and then I would like to follow up after that.
Well, my experience is that, first of all, Heifer receives a request and a view that something that a community has a need for food, for income, for support, and that goes to the regional office and to eventually the country office to be reviewed. Heifer staff, which I'll point out are almost 100% people from the countries that are there. They go out and interview the people, find out what's going on, try and make a evaluation if it is practical from their standpoint and if Heifer can help, and then move on with the people. The people that are the receivers, they need to make a commitment to learn about what they are going to be doing. So that may mean not only will they be caring for cattle, but they have to feed them to make sure there is forage available. Most importantly, is there water available? Can they get it to the people? Is it good water? And all of the other things. Is there a way to house the animals? Not in a great big barn, but just for animals to have shade and protection from that. So from that, they make a decision to become educated about that. And then, if it's appropriate, to go ahead and receive the animals. And also training now that Heifer has moved into is how do they market what they have, the support for all of that. So things from credit, microcredit, and also the tangible gifts of animals and so forth.
That's excellent. Yes, exactly. I agree. As Roger said, we only work where we are invited. We believe that people need opportunity, not charity. So generations of people living in poverty have been blamed for taking handouts, but at Heifer International, we refuse to believe that anyone is powerless. We see small-scale farmers as bold partners who are willing to build businesses for the sake of their families and communities. So we do give animals, resources, training, and business support to small-scale farmers. Our work is aligned with 10 of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And we also follow and train participants on the 12 cornerstones. These are our values, are very important to us. We work to close the living income gap in each country to ensure that families can lead dignified, resilient lives. And some ways that we do this are that we focus on 5 areas of work called the theory of change. So we take the physical aspects, such as increasing income and assets, food security and nutrition, plus the environment. And we take those physical aspects times the social aspects, which are women's empowerment, that's really key to solving the poverty issue, and social capital. So the physical aspects times the social aspects. As far as environmental sustainability, we promote agroecology and work with farmers to protect local ecosystems and biodiversity, deploy soil and water conservation techniques, and reduce carbon footprints. We support biogas plants that provide clean energy to local households and irrigation projects that use water more efficiently. And Roger talked about the importance of water. Cows cannot produce enough milk without a lot of clean water. And of course, people need water. It's really a key to our success. Climate smart practices and renewable energy. So these are some of the ways that we serve the communities and partner with churches such as yourself.
Now, I've heard you mention cows a couple of times. Am I correct that other animals, other types of animal are available to the clients, if I can use that word?
Yes, we call them project partners or project participants, but the people, the farmers, they can receive all different kinds of animal gifts. And the best way to do that, to check out our options, is to go to our heifer.org website, where you can select cows or sheep, ducks, pigs, goats, water buffalo. There you can get a flock of chicks. There are a lot of different options. So based on maybe your budget or what you're inspired to give for families, you can choose that, or you can actually choose other options. So we give animals, but it's so much more than that too, that we can give women's empowerment. And there are different large projects that if people are very generous and they are able to, they can also help with specific projects.
And I would, along with this, that these are the things that really got me interested in Heifer, is people empowering people to help themselves. And I agree so much with what Rachel introduced us about, is that I refuse to believe that there are human beings that they are not able and capable of doing great things, because I've seen it through Heifer and all of that. And they so many times just need the tools. And so hence the organization started as Heifer International, Heifers for Relief, but it has moved till, I believe the number is somewhere like 26 or so different animals, depending on the needs of the community. And believe it or not, I have seen everything from silkworms, empowering people so that they have some income, all the way to actually have been riding on a heifer elephant in Nepal that was given to a community for them to go ahead and be able to help with trekking things. This animal, as an elephant, had the best life in the world because it was taken care of by the community and all of that. It generated income. And if you want to really find out something interesting, you can use elephant dung to make paper. And I only wish I had brought more back, but something to look into as you learn more about animals.
Well, over those 76 years, you or the project at least, has probably learned a thing or two that informs how you currently operate. Could you give us an example of a learning that has now influenced your practice today?
I'd love to. So we have learned that simply giving the animals resources and training is not the fastest way out of poverty for families. So in addition to those things, we've adapted what we call the Accelerate strategy. This combines values-based holistic community development. So we're really asking the community, what do you need? With market development. And Roger talked about that a little bit before, but when we connect the families to the value chain, when we connect them to the markets that will help them get out of poverty fastest, then that creates an exponential cycle of economic growth. And in our market development, we determine the best value chain, as I mentioned. So we identify, support, and strengthen agri-enterprises, deploy capital and technology, and impact venturing, mobilize values-based private sector partnership. So partnerships are very important to us. And also to fund the work that helps farmers move to a living income, we secure philanthropic dollars from different donors as well as community groups. We secure grants and awards from institutions, corporations, and foundations. And these funds allow the farmers to begin engaging in the markets. But the farmers must also have access to local market-based financing, which is ultimately what leads to sustainable living income. So we have all the numbers, all that is to say we have the numbers to prove that this new way that we are doing things is moving families out of poverty faster. So we really believe zero hunger is possible.
Thank you. People often ask about Heifer's affiliations. So could you say a word or two about those, whether they're Christian affiliations or any other affiliations? Yeah.
Sure. So while we're not officially a faith-based organization, we do have our roots in the Church of the Brethren, which is based in Indiana. Our churches are a very important partner in helping farming families end hunger. And a really interesting fact is that the first cows that were sent in the first shipment were given through the Church of the Brethren. So the churches are very important to us, and we have our roots in the Church of the Brethren.
And besides,
go
ahead, Roger.
Just share that we went through a lot of discernment at the time I was on the board. And there it is very clearly, the roots are in the Christian church. Dan West, who founded the organization, was a youth leader and teacher in the Church of the Brethren, but he reached out, and there is a bit of little debate as to who was the second church, and it's between the Presbyterians and the Methodists. But there are organizations through the churches that include the Lutheran Church and many, many other denominations. But during our time, when I was there, we were saying we have people of the Jewish faith who are interested in being part of it. And
Yes.
we work with Muslims and Buddhists and all of that. So that's where we moved to kind of an all-faith organization, but not exactly, not that's the only thing. And so, and there was some trepidation, but I had the wonderful opportunity of hearing one of Dan West's daughters say that he had a saying, peace begins when the hungry is fed. And she said, don't question, he would be smiling as we bring in more and more people to come along following that along those lines. So, very personal thing, because we struggled, and but I really think it's so exciting that Heifer has moved to this, as you had said already, learning and maturing and moving on.
I think the daughter you're talking about is Jan West Schrock. She actually lives in Maine, and she is another one of my volunteers I'm so lucky to get to work with. So I consider her a friend.
That was her, yeah, for sure.
Well, people and congregations certainly can provide funds to help Heifer further the mission. Are there other opportunities for well-wishers or supporters to get involved besides giving money?
Yes, there are. So the first way I would say is just like Roger is doing, you can volunteer. And if you'd like to volunteer, you can go to our heifer.org website and sign up. And then we take you through an orientation, and you would work with someone like me to help support you in the best way to share about Heifer in your community. Besides volunteering, when our Heifer campus reopens down in Arkansas, You can ask for a green building tour of the LEED Platinum certified headquarters. When you're on campus, you can learn more about our work at Heifer Village and our urban farm, or you can also visit Heifer Ranch in Perryville, Arkansas. That's a very unique experience. I highly recommend it. I've been there and I enjoy it very much. Other options are, we have a lot of free resources for churches. Our theme for churches and faith groups is Feed the Hungry, Feed Your Faith. And some of these resources include church bulletin inserts. I'd be happy to order some for you if you'd like. Posters, animal pins. We have faith lessons. We have materials for a living gift market. And right now, this is some inside information you're getting. We are developing a virtual living gift market because, you know, we can't all be in person together all the time right now. That will be an option in the fall. And then we have the Fill the Ark program. Animal Crackers is another program which can be used if you'd like as a free vacation Bible school resource. So that's a curriculum you can use. We
And also,
have, oh, go ahead, Roger.
on the Animal Crackers, also, it is set up along 5 lessons, but I have seen that also used with Sunday schools and educational things, because it has just so many hands-on resources that you can do with kids to help them to, well, one of the thing we talked about is educating people about the root causes of poverty and what we can do about that from our congregations.
Yes, excellent. And also other resources we have are under the school section of our website. So if kids would like some activities like crossword puzzles to do or to learn more about Heifer, we have all kinds of free activities there on our website. And then a couple of other things that you can do. You can check out our Heifer Marketplace. We offer different fun gifts that you can give to your family and friends, and then a portion of those gifts benefit our project participants. We also encourage you to follow us on social media. So if you have social media, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Well connected.
Yes.
Right. And I would just bring up one other thing that we talk about in the churches is also alternative giving at both Mother's Day, birthdays, and all that. To the person like me, I've told people no more ties. I don't wear them very much and don't particularly like them. Give an animal or a part of an animal in honor to help somebody and change somebody's life.
Let's look down the road now, as far as we can see, which at the present time, July of 2020 is clouded anyhow. But let's just go for it. What do you foresee as emerging or major challenges for Heifer Project in the foreseeable future?
Sure. So we are focusing on our vision ahead. 2030 is what we're looking at. So the next 10 years, we're focusing on changing existing food systems to be pro-poor. So that's a challenge for us, but I know that we are creative and we have some very brilliant people on staff. I know that it is possible that we can do that. And also it is a challenge to change with the changing landscape of philanthropy. So people who have given in the past, it's just that I've done multiple trainings about what donor habits are. So for example, young people have different values and may not want to give in the same way that other generations have given. So we have to change with the changing times. And also, we are doing things a little bit differently. So the U.S. donor base is leveraging blended capital, ensuring cooperative owners and wealth creation for farmers. So the language might be changing. Some mechanisms we're using are a little bit more sophisticated, but we have the numbers that show that we're helping people faster. And I believe that even though we have challenges, we look at them as opportunities to give to communities even more.
And Roger, do you have a word about challenges other than
Well,
you agree with
I-
Rachel?
I think it's been very well summarized by Rachel, and this is a continuing thing, because 20 years ago, when I was on the board, we also made the move to go out and send out a catalog, which is called the most important gift catalog in the world, and send it out randomly to people. And it was a big challenge because it was going to cost us more money and all those things. And I remember almost shaking when I voted yes to do it. But we did it, and it was literally a tremendous step in the right way at that time. And to get the name of Heifer out there. And it was amazing. It's amazing to meet people, and may have my Heifer hat on, or Heifer might come up. And they say, oh yeah, I've heard that. I think I got a catalog about that. And these are the things. So as we say, in 76 years, there's been a lot of changes. But we got to continue to do it. And I guess somebody of my age would have said, oh, we changed it all right back in the year 2002 or whatever. But we haven't. And obviously we're in a new world, and it's so exciting to be part of an organization that's looking ahead, looking at new and different things like this virtual animal market. I can't wait. I'd like to try it. And it's something that we can do and learn about and continue the journey to make this world a little bit better place for everyone.
Thank you. So I'd like to give Rachel a chance to put up on the screen additional resources or the website screenshot or anything that would help our viewers to follow up with their own questions or further engagements. And then Roger, I'll ask you to share your contact information at the end.
All right, can you see my screen?
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yes, okay, so I would like to point out that my contact information is at the top. You can contact me at my email address or my phone number. This is our website where you can learn more. And then I put together a list of recommended videos. We have all of our videos on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com, you can put in any of these links. I know these are a little bit more complicated, but these are specific clips of actual project participants saying thank you. And then we have these short videos. You can just type them in the search bar and it should come up for you. And then if you prefer a longer video, depending on your attention span, the Power Over Poverty webisodes are a lot more educational and not just like a sound bite. And then the last option that I wanted to point out is we have 76 years of empowerment history timeline. I believe when the history timeline was published, it was for our 75th anniversary, so it might only say 75 right now, but we just celebrated our 76th year this month. And I highly recommend, if you get a chance, go to the website and click through the decades. It's really fun to see how we have changed from the very beginning and all the different decades, what is featured and how we've helped families with community groups like Albany Presbytery.
So viewers, that website again is www.heifer, H-E-I-F as in Frank, ER.org. And Rachel is R-A-C-H-E-L _ capital M-E-R-R-I-L-L at heifer.org.
Oh, can I just make a quick correction? There's a dot instead of an underline in between. Rachel.Merrill.
Rachel.Merrill. Thank you.
Yeah.
Her eyes are better than mine. Now, if you can unshare the screen, Rachel, we'll let
Yes.
Roger show his contact information. I'll read it for the viewers. That's Dr. Roger G. Ellis, 518-642-9490. That will ring in Granville, New York. rgellis6@gmail.com. Thank you both for being with us this afternoon. We trust that God will use this video to help people pursue their engagement with Heifer Project and, in that sense, enhance the mission of Christ. Thank you so much for the opportunity to learn more.